Welcome to ISE 2022 in beautiful Barcelona, Spain. This is Rich Fregosa for AVNation TV, and I am sitting here with Josh Rush, who is the CMO, Chief Marketing Officer of Audinate. Josh, it's good to have you with us.
It's
Welcome
great to be here.
Yeah,
It's great to be in Barcelona and back at ISE.
It's obviously been a couple of years.
It
I
has.
mean, we had Amsterdam, and then we had kind of a hiccup in between, and so now we're all getting back together. So tell us what it's like being back on the trade show floor.
Well, we're thrilled just to be back at trade shows in general, and in particular ISE. This is obviously a biggie for us, and we've missed it the last 2 years. I think just in general for this industry, we're about seeing and hearing things. And we did a lot of really innovative things during the COVID break, but at the end of the day, nothing really replaces getting out there, seeing the products, hearing things, and also staying connected with all the people we know in the industry. So yeah, it's great to be back and great to be in Barcelona.
You couldn't have teed that up better than if I asked you when you talked about hearing, which Audinate is known for.
Exactly.
And
now seeing too. Yep.
This is not a small thing that's occurring that we're starting to see. I obviously had spoken earlier with some other partners of yours, but I'm going to let you run with this. Tell us about the new exciting news.
Absolutely, yeah. So for us, even though the company is Audinate, it's been all about video the last couple of years. So we launched Dante AV, which is our audio and video module, actually back at ISE 2019. And again, our business model is we sell the components to manufacturers who then turn around and sell it to end customers. So it's a pretty long development cycle. So we first introduced it to manufacturers in 2019. Over the past year, during COVID, we've started to see those products now come to market. And so we now have encoders on the market, decoders, cameras. We've got 15 manufacturers now that are licensees of Dante AV, so the ecosystem is building. It's interesting, we actually went back to the early days on the audio side and compared the number of manufacturers and where we were a couple years in, and we're far outpacing that on the video side. So it's really exciting.
That was an interesting stat that somebody else had mentioned, in that in the 15 years where it took for the audio to take hold with digital audio through Dante and everything else, that the video side and the adoption has just been phenomenal.
It has, yeah, and I think it really boils down to a couple things. One is that when you talk to customers, they really want audio and video together. They want to be able to manage both of those through the same interface using the tools that they already know, and that's why it was a natural expansion for us to move from audio into video. They also want it to be easy, and that's one of the things when it comes to networking is it's one thing to get a packet from point A to point B, but how you do it really matters. And I think in this industry, people appreciate tools that make it easy, tools that give them a lot of information about how their network is performing, tools that make it easy to manage that network from regardless of where you are. And so that's really the secret sauce that we bring on the Audinate side. Is it's not just about that core transport layer, it's about all those tools and software and services that we wrap around it that make it easier for customers to use.
And that's an interesting thing that you're talking about. Obviously, usability, making it easier, simpler, faster to deploy, more convenient to deploy. How do you bridge that with the technical side of things? Because obviously there's quite a bit of technical power behind this entire process. So
there is, yeah.
Let's talk about that technical side and bridging them together. For people, I don't think many people wouldn't understand what Audinate is doing, but if somebody was new and was trying to understand how you are using these layers different than maybe some of the others that are out there.
Sure. So again, a lot of it goes back to what we've already done on the audio side. And so some of the things, just to give you maybe some real examples there in terms of the ease of use, things like discovery, right? So you just plug in, if it's labeled Dante on the back, you just plug that device in, it's gonna automatically pop up in Dante Controller. You're not out putting in secret codes or looking for IP addresses or doing any of that coding. It literally just pops up and you're able to find it and route it. Dante Controller and that whole control plane is another thing that makes it really easy. So from the beginning, we've developed that software, made it free for people to download from our website, and that's your lens into the Dante world. So you see your whole matrix, all the options for routing, the transmitters and receivers, and you also get diagnostics through that as well. So that's kind of the core of the routing and management function. But we also have a tool called Dante Domain Manager, which has been out there for, I think, 4 years. I know we've had different people from our company come talk to you guys about it. And that's taking it to a whole nother level where that's true network management software that's at kind of an IT level of functionality. So you can create different work groups, you can put security in place, you can have admin level controls, you have dashboards and monitoring. So if you sort of think about it as a stack, that transport is way down here, and these are all things we're adding to it to add value and make it easy for customers to use at the end of the day. And that all translates right over to video. So again, having it all integrated, all that functionality is now available for video as well too.
And I've had the luxury of having to run through on the entire process, and you're absolutely spot on in terms of how everything comes together, which is if you've ever once had to route Dante audio, you're going to know how to route Dante video.
Just click and get the green check mark, and it's that simple. Yeah.
Away you go.
Right.
Well, great. Obviously, your licensed partners are manufacturers that you'd want people to find out about. But if people want to find out more about Audinate itself, where can they find you?
Best thing to do is go to our website, audinate.com, and we have everything about Dante AV, everything about Dante Domain Manager. All the products I mentioned are all listed there, as well as a long list of all of our manufacturers that are using Dante.
Well, fantastic. Well, obviously, if you want to find out more about Audinate, you can find out about them on their site. But if you want to find out more about ISE 2022 and all of our exhibitors here on the show floor, you can find out more here on AVNation and our broadcast. This is Rich Fregosa for AVNation.tv.